Welcome, Spice Warriors, to our first ever casted game of Dune Spice Wars. Just today, they released the caster, the observer mode for Dune, and we are diving right into a multiplayer game, and I think this is the right way to do it. We could have started from the very beginning. You could have hung around here for a few hours, but here we are. We are many years in, and you can see it is down to crunch time. Fremen in the lead right now with hegemony. We've got Atreides, Fremen, Carino, and Harkonnen on the map. You can kind of get a bird's eye view of the situation. And we're going to be exploring the observer mode for the very, very first time. Now, down here on the south side, it looks like we've got a conflict brewing between House Atreides and the Fremen. And in fact, just as we say that, it looks like House Carino has conceded. There's been some battles going on up top, I think particularly between the Fremen. You can see the chat going on. We're only at 20k hegemony, so that's a rather early tap out. But with that, the AI will be taken over for the Emperor. The Emperor has left the battle. And we've got our very first Landstrad Council coming up. So taking a look at what's already been passed, we've got Harkonnen sitting on Judge of the Council, which is going to let him allow to train those Landstrad guards and judges. Remember this patch, they did make that cheaper to do. So you might see some of those guards and judges out in the field more frequently. You've also got Atreides sitting on the Water Sellers Union. So that's going to be giving him additional Solari per each water that he has. And what's up to vote this time? Looks like Eye of the Council's on the board. You've got all factions gain selling Chome shares. You've also got main base damage. I would imagine we'll see, because let's see if it tells us who's eligible for this. I think it's about to come up. Maybe that's in the next period. Here we go. Okay, so results come up. Looks like Atreides will be taking the Eye of the Council, so that will be giving him extra 2 agents in addition to that Solari for water. So Atreides look like they're doing pretty nice, but if you look at the hegemony win condition, it looks like Fremen is going to be in the lead for that. So let's kind of explore what we have to look at here on the observer mode, because it's my first time looking at it. So let's explore it together. So across the top of your screen, you see it looks like we've got some different menus to check out the kind of the stock of what each player has. So this is going to be spice we're looking at across each player. You've got all of their resources you can check out. Looks like you can see the current buildings being constructed. You can see their army size here, looking at their total army population as well. Will be very useful when there's fights going on. You've got the operations that are available to be deployed, so that'll be particularly useful, I think, when we see like spying operations and such. You actually see Fremen right now researching that Awaken the People, which did get cheaper this patch to use. You see diplomacy, you can kind of see who's got what pacts with each other. We got faction statuses, so you can kind of see, like for instance, we've got architectural surveys against Fremen right now. Could be in some trouble if he gets attacked. A lot of buffs going right now for Atreides, but some different things you can see there. You've got the land strat, which is what we just looked at, of course, with the voting when it comes around. You got the Chome market, which is always a victory condition to keep an eye on. It looks like Harkonnen has the most shares at 18%. It is a win condition if you hit 50% of the Chome shares, but also another number to think about when you hit that 30%, it gives your military additional 15% power. There's also the mercenaries at 10%. That's a good thing to have with the Chome market. You've got our faction summaries, and then we've got our game summary. Oh, and with that, we even have even more stats. We can look at basically the timeline. So all that being said, very, very impressive. This is the first time we've ever had a caster mode for Dune before, and they basically have given us every stat you might want to look at under the sun. Now, it's a lot of information, so it would be easy to have information overload, particularly. I love that they've got the chat here. I mean, this is a feat that Age of Empires 4 hasn't been able to pull off, and we're looking at a small indie company. They've got chat in here, iteration 1 of the observer mode. And that's very exciting to see. It looks like this is going to be, so you can look in to see exactly like a player would see, you know, what they're researching, what gear they have, what espionage tactics they've gone for. So you can even see their line of sight if you go to the vision. So, wow, a lot of options. I'm going to turn all of the fog off again, and I'm going to turn on shared vision, I think is what I want. So that's going to be it. We can see a little bit of everything. Let's see who's got what out here on the map. It looks like Atreides does have control of the polar sink, which would make sense why he's able to get that Water Sellers Union, getting some additional resources out of that. Let's look at the resources, see what everyone's looking at. We've got Harkonnen's coffers rather on the low side. Decent amount in the bank for Atreides, followed by Fremen and Carino. Remember, Carino is an AI player, but you can't just count the AI out, right? Sometimes they'll even do more irrational things. But here we go. We've got a battle going on. We've got the Fremen attacking an Atreides base. We've got, it looks like going to be this village has got some missile silos, missile batteries as well. And the Harkonnen might be saying he doesn't want the Atreides just to take that. He's bringing his Harpies nearby. And it looks like getting involved in the fight. So we've got Atreides, Fremen, and Harkonnen getting involved in this damage. I actually want to look at the diplomacy. Let's see who's allied up with each other. So it looks like Atreides has a truce with Harkonnen. So it does appear that everyone's kind of at war with the Fremen for right now. So Atreides and Harkonnen's an unlikely partnership are going to be allying with each other for now. Harpies, of course, don't have supply. They can chase through the desert, and you can see going to be picking off a few more of those Fremen troops. And in fact, this Fedaykin look like they're going to be in some trouble there as he gets to those. Now we do have the Fremen battleship there on the back line, and it looks like the little AI Carino getting involved as well. So Fremen, let's see how much territory he has. He essentially has all of this, likely going for a hegemony victory, which I think is one of the easier ones to get with when you're playing the Fremen. But with that, he's going to need to expand rapidly. So let's look what expansion options he has to get some additional hegemony. Looks like he's got some neutral territories down here on the south side. Is that one being claimed right now? Oh, this is currently being... Oh, peaceful annexation. Atreides is sneaking this one in. He's going to be right in the back door of Fremen. I have a feeling he probably really wants to take the polar sink, and probably for the fact of Atreides probably wants to really guard that polar sink. And it says when they've spoken with each other, but I don't know if it necessarily tells you what they've said when they've traded and spoken and done whatever. There's the Atreides gunship. That's going to be the Kraken. A very different Kraken from what we see in Age of Mythology. So, it's kind of fun getting this point of the game. I'm not sure how exciting the beginnings of Dune would be to cast, because there's not really a whole lot. I don't know if you'd to see from a bird's eye view. Of course, we could make it interesting, and maybe we'll do one. But I think this is kind of a good stage of the game to kind of jump in and see what's happening. So, right now, let's see what win conditions could be possible. So, Fremen and Carino currently kind of facing off on the hegemony front. When we look at the CHOAM market, it looks like we've got a lot of shares for Carino. I don't know if the AI will actually push that further, but that could be a big win condition. Of course, CHOAM could be hard to stop, especially when it gets down to the wire. Is there any? Let's look at the operations. Let's see if anyone's going for any assassinations or anything like that. I'm not seeing any type of assassination methods in the way, so it doesn't look like that's going to be on the way. Now, they did add tooltips for helping you out with doing assassination and espionage, so I'll be interested to try that out when I get to try it for the first time, but they have made that easier to understand. Of course, we got the Landsraad coming up here as far as the voting goes, and we could be looking at the Dune governorship becoming a possibility here in the near future. Always something got to watch out with Atreides. Atreides went through a lot of nerfs this patch. I would say it looked like there were like Fremen reworks, some House Vernius buffs, a lot of Atreides nerfs. So they got hit with the nerf hammer. When we look at the total influence available, Atreides really is ruling this, because so pretty much can sway any vote unless they really team up with each other to stack against him. Let's see, we got some Landsraad guards, less authority. This could be a good thing to use against the Fremen if you want to stop them from expanding more when they're looking at hegemony. That would be very good to use, but it was for all factions. So okay, that in fact will impact all of them. Let's see who voted for it: Atreides and Carino. So I think they wanted that. In fact, now we actually see Fremen chilling there on 222.5k hegemony. Now, in case you don't know all of the win conditions in Dune Spice Wars, there's a few. There's basically a quote score win condition, and the score is basically it's your hegemony. If that hits 30k, you win. Okay, so that's expansion, that's score hegemony. 30k, that's a win condition. There's total domination, which is of course take everybody on the map. Pretty self-explanatory. That can include assassinating them, nuking them, whatever. Right? Just taking everyone out. That's a win condition. You can go for the economic win condition. So you can go for the CHOAM market, get to 50% of these chairs. You buy them. Of course, they cost a lot of Solari if you're going to get all of those, as you can see. But if you get 50%, you win. And then last but not least, there is the diplomacy victory. A diplomacy victory, where is it? It's the governorship. So if you get elected to this, you have to be eligible first, which you see none of them have the land strat, I don't think, standings that they need to get this. But once you get the governorship, you have 30 days and then you win. So a bunch of ways to win. And the thing that happens is once you get towards the end of the game, whoever's about to win, typically the other players start ganging up on them, and it turns into a huge circle of betrayals and friendships that break faster than they're made. But let's see what's going on here right now. We've got the Harkonnen squaring off. The Harpies rather low on health, but looks like Harkonnens and Fremen have and the Atreides have teamed up against the Fremen. Fremen army looking mighty strong right now. You can see some of those Harpies going down, and it looks like Fremen are going to be able to hold this. Not to mention they're on their own turf right now. Yep, sitting here. Some of these are even stealth. I'm actually curious if they can even see these when they're chilling underneath the stealth. You can see, of course, the missile battery taking shots at that Overlord. That's going to be the mothership of the Harkonnens. And Fremen going to be backing off. Going to be going home to reheal. Maybe, oh, it looks like Atreides is trying to stop Fremen's expansion. And it's going to take this. Is that an annexation? It's a liberation. Okay, so he's going to liberate that, so that hegemony is going to be dropping down from that 24.4k you see. It's really about to go down here any second. Can he get there in time? He's trying to stop it. If you contest it, it does stop you from losing it, and it does look like he gets there in time to contest. I'm not sure if there's a way to rotate the camera. I'm actually legitimately not sure. So I wanted to rotate left just a little bit here for this fight. But either way, Atreides and Fremen facing off. There's a lot of high veterancy going on right now for, well, not too much veterancy for the Fremen. You can actually see a retreat of Chani right now. I think she's going to be able to hold this. It's looking like it. I don't know what they have to really take out the Kraken. Are any of these ranged units? Looks like a lot of melee. If we look at his gear, we can see if he's got some pistols equipped. Not seeing any. Is that one right there? I think that's what that is. Oh, that's not. That's dry training. Okay, so mops out the Fremen land army, and just as expected, Fremen cannot shoot at this. But at the same time, a gunship can't capture territory. So he's able to hold his territory. He's taking damage right now, but for now, we'll be able to hold that. And I bet you there's an assault going on up north somewhere. It looks like Krino's thinking about doing something. He's chilling just for now. Down here on the south side, it looks like Fremen have held that. Very nice hold for him. Let's see what's going on over here. Ooh, is this an Awaken the People? I feel like that's maybe what happened here. I think that he used Awakening the People on the back line of the Fremen to kind of cause some damage. Actually, I see the yellow around there, so that must have been what happened. So Awaken the People is a special Fremen operation. Yep, he used it because I know he had it in the bank, and it causes a rebellion in enemy territory that you choose. So a good way to kind of distract your enemy as you're fighting. Okay, so we're going to be following the story of the Fremen. It really feels like it. I guess the question is, do you think they'll actually be able to get it across the finish line? This is always my experience. It's like, it looks like they're doing good. Harkonnen and Atreides fighting against them, and then boom, the Emperor pulls off a chome victory. Like, that's what happens in all my games. We'll see if the AI can pull it off, but sometimes they're even just as more capable to make that happen. So Atreides regrouping here on the front line. And you got to be thinking, what is the wing condition that Harkonnen is considering right now? Can we look at hegemony? I think that's here, faction summary. So he's not really in a spot with hegemony. Could think about the governorship here soon. I think he needs, what, 450? Is that what he needs? Yeah, 450. So he's still a ways away from that. Spice-wise, we got some stocks going on. Everyone's doing okay economically. If we look at our Chome, Krino, low on this, because I think it's because he's buying a lot of shares right now in the Chome market. Okay, so a little bit of a lull at the moment as the troops regain their positions. It looks like we've refortified down here at Oswald, and he's going to be building some missile batteries to help defend that location. And we got another big fight going on, a head-on fight this time. 2 battleships. We've got the Overlord and the Kraken from Atreides, and the House Harkonnen, and gonna be going up against the Fremen. Here we go. Fremen moving on in right now. Gonna be assaulting on land and air. Does he have enough to take this? After this battle, I'm going to take a look at the tech tree to kind of see how these guys have teched as far as the military goes. But clearly, Fremen has made a lot of enemies here to the Offworlders. Okay, picking off those harpies. In comes those airdrops. So that's coming from the Atreides home. He's training up back here. Then he's using the airfields, and he's come to the front line. And it looks like with those reinforcements, he's been able to push the Fremen back. And it looks like when they team up, it's very hard to deal with that, and he's doing a good job holding it. Oh, was able to trigger his seven militia here at the nearby village. That's a lot to bolster his attack, and a little bit of mistake maybe on the invading forces. He's going to turn around and take this fight. Looks like the altar is going to be landing down, but of course, middle battles, you still got to vote. You still got to move the diplomacy forward, right? So what do we have here? Loss of rights. This would be one to vote for if you wanted to take out the stuff that Atreides has, you know, also Harkonnens. But again, votes, Fremen doesn't have a whole lot. Unlikely to get that. Perhaps if Harkonnen wanted to backstab Atreides a little bit, you could see him vote for this. But I have a feeling loss of rights isn't going to happen with the way Atreides will probably vote. Maybe see some Landsrad Punishers coming down. This would be a good one to slow down Krino from buying shares. So I think we'll see this voted against, this voted for. Let's see what happens. Oh, this got declined. Harkonnen voted against this, which gives me a little bit of clue. Maybe Harkonnen thinks he can go for a Chome victory. That sure seems like it. And it gives him selling. I mean, that's gives him selling too if he wants to sell. I doubt he will. Oh my gosh. Krino and Fremen, they teamed up. The AI teamed up with Fremen, and they lost all of their charters. I can't believe that happened. I think House Atreides was asleep at the wheel on that one. He put it in 510 votes, but he should have put those extra 100 and he would have kept it. So he lost 2 of his charters. That's a pretty massive hit economically for Atreides. Also knocks Harkonnen down a peg. So let's take another look here. What's going on with the buying prices? So Harkonnen didn't want this pass. We got to check back in here. I think he's buying a lot of Chome shares. He's at 20% right now. We might see more of those coming in. Okay, Atreides is going to be annexing, or liberating rather, just trying to stop that hegemony. Now let's take a look at the tech tree right now for the Atreides, I'm sorry, Fremen. Now Fremen went very heavy in the military. He's in fact getting his last military ones, and he also did go, it looks like probably early on in these local dialect studies here in the bottom right. Particularly things of note, he has the valuable trinkets upgrade, meaning he can train crafts workshop and villages, so he is getting passive hegemony generation. So let's find some of those special regions on the map to see where he is bringing in this hegemony. Let's see if I can see these. I'm not sure if they display actually in this caster mode. It doesn't even show that this is a special region. Is that like a toggle I gotta turn on? It's kind of interesting. It's not there. Maybe resources filter? No. I'm surprised it doesn't show it. Okay, so it's not showing as the special region, so we're going to have to kind of hunt for them. I'm not sure we'll be able to find them. Honestly, I don't know what they all look like. I know some of them look like. I think this is one. Yeah. And yep, you can see it right here. Crafts Workshop. So +8 hegemony per day. So even when they're knocking down villages, Fremen is going to continue to bring in hegemony. Can we actually see this in the resources tab? Let's see. Yeah, you can. Look, you can see the hegemony they're bringing in per day right here. Krino, by the way, might move past Fremen here. AI could pull in the lead there. Looking at the +32 per day, +19. Shai-Hulud might get in the big game. Let's see what happens here. When you see the warning sign, Shai-Hulud is nearby. Whoa. Sound getting a little crazy. I wish I had a little more minor, there's a thumper, some more minor controls of the camera. It's kind of pretty dramatic. You're just like zooming way out, zooming way in, panning. You want to see the action, but man, we got all 3 motherships fighting right now. Can't really tell who's winning this. It feels like Fremen just keeps holding these fights again after again. Right now his gunship doing pretty good. We got a Fennec in there in the back line going down. I think Atreides and Harkonnen might hold this, especially with any amount of reinforcements, they'll hold it. Let's see here. Resource-wise, Harkonnen's pretty low in the bank. Let's see if he's been buying more shares. And he might have even sold shares, or they got diluted because he went down a percentage. Okay, so Fremen going to get knocked back there in that fight. That's a very bad loss for him. He's got to retrain at his main base. Could make sense. Let's look at the tech trees of some of these other guys. So Atreides looking to finish off some of his military techs. Harkonnen, not a whole lot of military techs out of him. Military development. So this kind of tracks with how Fremen's is able to hold the two of these guys, because they have not. They didn't go all in on the military like we saw Fremen do. Now, what is this going on right now? We've got administrative burden, which it makes his units train 80% slower. Oh boy! So that is going to. He just lost his whole army. Now he's facing the administrative burdens. He's going to be losing ground. Absolutely going to happen here. We're going to see Carino pull ahead in the hegemony war as we see territory being dropped right now by Fremen. And this might even come into a point here that we'll see Atreides and Harkonnen start to turn on each other.
Fire at will. On the offensive. We'll take them out.
Okay, so Atreides will be taking that territory. We've got on the south side, not much going on here in the desert. Dune pretty peaceful on the south side, west side. We see the border between Atreides and Harkonnen. It looks like they do have some missile silos prepared for battle should it arise. But not going on. Now, that red swirling you see right now, what's going on is we've got oppression in villages. So Harkonnen's got, of course, this oppression, which makes all of your output better, but then you can get a, you can have your villagers revolt on you. You see Harkonnen saying in the chat, no easy wins here. Fremen saying you two are annoying. So clearly a lot of animosity between the off-worlders and Fremen. Meanwhile, Carino's up there just living his best life. Okay, Fremen, despite the administrative burden, he has been able to come back here and fight for his land. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. He could perhaps purchase some mercenaries if he had the Chom shares. Yeah, he's got a lot of resources. See, this is where I think it'd be in his interest to get these 10% Chom shares so he can purchase some mercenaries to help battle, because he's not going to be able to train his troop fast enough. He's going to need a supplement. We do see one skirmisher on the back line actually taking some shots at the Harkonnen capital ship, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to take it out. We're at a lot of low HP on a lot of these troops. Could it be enough to hold the ground? We'll see. Uh-oh, I think the altar might go down. He should have microed this out of here. We do see some Fremen troops popping in right now, but it's not going to be enough. That altar is going to be donezo. He's trying to hold it down. Goes the altar. Crashing down to Dune. Okay, not looking good for the Fremen. We got another Landstrat Council in session. Let's see what's up for grabs. We got the Speaker of the Council, which is something that's nice to have when the governorship starts to become in question towards the end of the game. You can re-roll at the start of the council. Of course, Spice Suffering, not good to be going against. And we've also got all command points increase Solari upkeep of military units. So let's see what happens. You can see in the chat, Fremen saying, don't worry though, fresh batch coming in. Okay, so we got a fresh batch of troops coming. Fremen seems unfazed, and look at his hegemony. Remember, that's passive generation. He's going to lose a little bit when he loses this fight. But he's holding. Look at that. Fresh batch does come in. He's got some Fedaykin coming out of stealth in there. He's got some infiltrators. They just keep coming back for more, taking the hits and sending another wave. Okay, so he's not. All he needs to do is buy time. And we see this right now, troops coming in from the backside, going for a little bit of flank. What is this operation we're seeing here? Was that hidden thumpers, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. I can't tell which one that is. I'm not sure at the moment. Okay, Atreides trying to hold on his land, and he's doing a good job at it. Okay, remember, Carino sneaking up on his tail. So at any moment, if Fremen starts to lose his grasp, Carino could take it away. And he's just chilling up there. He's the Emperor. He's kicking his feet up. You know, Christopher Walken, he's having a great time. Look at this. He's He's fighting the barbarians, fighting up against the renegades. He's got not a care in the world. Look at that. He's got his base over here. I don't know why this guy resigned, by the way. He clearly was within striking distance of victory and really would sway this if he had stuck around. Fremen gonna hold on. It's just the reinforcements are brutal. They were so close to grabbing this. Like, where were the Atreides reinforcements? He has 30k Solari. I don't really know. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. But surprisingly, Atreides held this. He's training more militia. He's gonna have 7 militia with that, and of course that's gonna be a big problem. Oh my gosh. Effects of militia quirks are applied 2 more times. 20% militia power. So that's a good one to have on your front line. He holds it. The Fremen, the Mad Lad, against 2v1. He just continues to hold. And look at this. Carino going for the backstab on the main base of the Harkonnen. Oh my gosh, what is happening? And then, of course, it's hard. I think this is a Fremen rebellion going on over here. It's hard to say because Harkonnen does oppression, so they can end up with rebellions quite frequently. Look at spice. Let's look at the resources here. Harkonnen, not a ton in the bank. Okay, so we've got problems at home right now for the Baron. Let's look at the Baron here. Check him out. Look at this guy. How do I look at him? I just want to look at the Baron. I don't know if I can in this view. We might not be able to. Let's see. Oh, you can follow their camera. Oh, that's pretty neat. Let's see how it works. So we're watching right now the Harkonnen's perspective, what he's looking at. Yeah, this is a 4X RTS strategy game. So a lot of 4X games, they're like turn-based in many situations, or some variation. This is truly, it moves in real time with the exception of pausing for councils. So it's all about the expansion, the diplomacy, the economy. A lot of ways you can go about winning in Dune Spice Wars. Okay, so we see Stalemate says the Harkonnen, but I'm not so sure about the Stalemate. I think Harkonnen's going to be losing this. He's got problems right now back at home. I wonder if he's not realized it or something. We've got Carino. What is he doing? He's hanging out on the siege. Did he? Oh, he devastated it. He pillaged the siege. Oh my gosh. He says works for me because he knows the longer he can stretch it out, he can win it. So let's talk a little bit about Dune as we wait. It looks like there's gonna be a lot more of this stalemate happening on here in the middle. So when you start, you just got your main base. So let's start at the Fremen's main base. Let's see, where is it? Some of it's kind of hard to see on. Can I get rid of this fog? Oh, it's a sandstorm. Hey, no fog, it's a sandstorm. Okay, whatever. Let's go. We'll go. There we go. Harkonnen main base. Okay, you start your main base, and each of these tiles have different resources you can gather from them. So this one, for instance, you can gather plascrete, which is used, or additional plascrete rather, for making your buildings. This one has rare elements, so looks like gold, smells like gold, tastes like gold. You can get more money out, get more Solari out of that, right? Etc. Some give fuel cells, but the most important resource in Dune Spice Wars is, of course, the spice. And you can see that marked here, this purple stuff. Unlike, I guess in the movie, it's orange, but it's purple. And you have to harvest that. You can see our harvesters here. And that is basically what makes the world go around. Every spice cycle, see, 24 days here, you've got to pay spice to the Imperium, to the Space Guild. Otherwise, really bad things will happen. If you don't pay your spice, the government will show up and start attacking your main base. It's not a good time. So you guys pay your spice tax, but there's different rates each month. So then you can decide how much you're selling, how much you're stocking up, and you know that's going to impact your economy. Maybe you sell when the price is high, or maybe you're selling because you're low on it. You need the resources. You can store it up. There's different ways to go about that, right? So spice, you trade that. And then on each village, when you capture them from the natives, you can build upon them. So there's different buildings you can get. You can get production of manpower. You can get less Solari upkeep. This is a special building, a spacing branch. There's different buildings you can get essentially in each tile. So you can improve the tiles. Some are buildings basically you can build anywhere, right? No matter the building tile, you can make your building. But if you look at these villages, each one has a special trait. So for instance, This village gives you 20% statecraft building resource production. So he's getting that from his data center and his listing post. And also gives him additional water. So there's a lot of little quirks on that. So you want to look very closely when you're taking the villages to be like, okay, which one should I build up with what type of buildings, right? Economy, military, or statecraft. Different types of buildings, and that's going to affect your economy long term. Some factions are better at taking a lot of land, like the Fremen, and building kind of horizontally. They do horizontal scaling, where you've got Krino does more vertical scaling, and goes for has smaller footprint, but goes very big on building up his base. Now, we saw Landsraad Council come in. Essentially, every so many days, you get a vote on the Landsraad Council, and there'll be different resolutions, and then they will determine either some negative or positive things that'll happen either to one player or to all of the players. Everyone gets to vote. Some factions get more votes than others. You can see Fremen natively, they don't sit on the High Council. They don't get votes out of the gate, but they can. Everyone can kind of supplement with their influence. Okay. Now, I see we just had a resignation coming in right now, and that's going to be the Fremen. Now, the Fremen just resigned. Does that mean he just won? I think they did. I think maybe the observer mode just keeps going. But that's going to be it. A rather anticlimactic ending to this, because it looks like they were kind of a stalemate for a long time. But it looks like hegemony-wise, Fremen must have hit the 30K. We're just not seeing it here. In fact, yes, you see that error coming in. So that's going to be it for our very first kind of abbreviated casted game of Dune Spice Wars. Let me know what you think about the observer mode. If you would like to see a full game, it would be a huge undertaking for me to go through a multi-hour game to cast, but I could certainly be up for the task if you guys really want to see it. And with that, I hope you enjoyed. Go check out my patch notes, my previous video I uploaded on the channel. And with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.